We know that people buy houses for a lot of reasons. Some are personal, others are financial. In this video, I'm going to go through some of both the personal and financial reasons that we, my family and I, purchased a house in Tampa, Florida in 2021. Let's go. I'm gonna do this. I'm always on the other side of the camera, but it's time. Thank you for checking out the All About Living in Tampa channel. I am Tyler. Chris, you've probably seen in other videos. This is my first video. On this channel, we give different perspectives on what it is like to move and live in the Tampa area. We're also both loan officers, so if you have any finance related questions considering moving to the area and just need some answers, feel free to text us, give us a call, email. You can also, if you'd like a 30-minute conversation with us where we can go get into more detail, you'll see a link for those in the description. Okay, reason number one why me and my wife and our daughter decided to buy a house in 2021. Very personal, it's mine. We have always wanted to buy a house. We have moved, this is the 8th move that we have made in 7 years of marriage. That's a lot of moving. And this is the 3rd house since moving to Tampa at the beginning of 2020. We moved from Costa Rica, so when we first came, we decided to rent. We had good friends that had a house that was available, and they offered us a price that we couldn't refuse, and so we ended up staying with them for about, at the house, they just had a house attached to the property where their residence was, and so we rented that from them. The price was right, and it gave us a good perspective because when we bought a house, which was in a very different area from the first house that we were staying in, it gave us a good perspective on the area. We got to know different parts of the Tampa Bay area. It's very large. To us, it was very large. We've always been in smaller towns. And learning the ins and outs, the commutes when we first came here, and decide where we really could see ourselves living. Because it was such a big move. If you're coming from out of state, maybe you're local or you're at least in Florida, but coming from a different country, for us, there was so many different changes in life that, yeah, we could say, oh, I can picture myself living here, but we didn't know until we actually lived here. So for us, I was glad that we rented for a while. It helped me find a job and then decide that the amount of time that I was spending commuting, I didn't really like. I didn't want to commute as far as I was commuting. Let's get to the actual point in this video, why I bought a house. 1, it's mine. 2, I was tired of renting. We were tired of renting. We were tired of the house that we were living in not being ours. I was tired of my residence being an expense to me and not an asset. So that was a big factor. Having worked in real estate in Costa Rica before moving here, your home is your biggest asset and one of the biggest financial decisions you're ever going to make. And so the idea that I was paying off somebody else's asset instead of my own was a major reason that I wanted to buy a house. I hear this argument a lot between a lot of my friends, late 20s, early 30s, that are considering buying a house. And the two sides of this argument, one says, I'm gonna wait till the market comes down. Housing is too expensive, I'm gonna wait. And I understand that perspective and that point of view. Now, the other camp is saying rents are continuing to rise, and if I can get a house that's cheaper than what I'm paying in rent right now, no matter what, I have a fixed expense instead of an expense that continues to rise year after year. For me, I knew I didn't want to buy a home that was going to cost me more than what I was paying in rent. At the time, we were paying $1,350 a month in rent. So that was kind of my cap as far as the amount that I wanted to spend each month. We ended up purchasing a house north of Tampa in the Hudson area for $224,000. Now, I knew I was going to have to go a little bit further out in order to get a 3-bedroom, 2-bath at that price point. And that was something we were willing to do. I knew the expressway was close to where this house was, and I know it was still going to take me roughly about 30 minutes to get to Citrus Park, which is where I work. So with rising rents, the idea of a fixed housing expense was really one of the major factors that helped us decide that it was time to purchase a home and lock in that monthly payment. So on top of the fixed cost being cheaper per month with a mortgage payment versus rent, also the tax benefits, the homestead exemption that is available living in the state of Florida. And I knew that was going to lower my payment too once I filed for homestead by somewhere around $600 a year. So that was an additional benefit, as well as the tax benefit for owning a home. So all of those factors really made the decision, on top of it just being mine, on top of being tired of renting, the financial reasons really helped solidify my decision. Now, when we moved here in 2020, I had never worked in the finance industry, so I didn't understand working in real estate in Costa Rica. Most of the buyers were cash buyers. They were coming from here in Florida or Texas or Arizona. A lot of retirees that would move down to lower their expenses, have an adventure. Maybe they were tired of the 55 plus community, or whatever their reasons were, they were moving to Costa Rica. And so my experience in the industry for those 4 years was always cash buyers. So finance was something I didn't understand a lot of aspects. I still don't, and I'm learning. When we first moved, I was planning on going into real estate. And then 2.5, 3 months later, lockdowns, 2020 happened, and very quickly I decided maybe getting a W-2 salary position was going to be the best way for me to move forward. Because I was moving from a different country, that was going to affect my ability to get financing and be pre-approved to get a mortgage. So getting in that W-2 position when I got here and not going into a strictly commission-based 1099 position really helped set me up to be able to purchase a home. Okay, so the next reason that we decided to purchase a home in Tampa in 2021 was stability. We were so tired of moving from place to place, and the idea of not knowing if my furniture was going to fit in the next rental house, or how we were going to rearrange things, or needing to sell this item so that we could buy this that fit better in the living room. We were so tired of all of that change, the idea of stability and being able to get a couch that fit in our living room and hang stuff on the walls and paint and just all those little details that may seem silly to us were so important. It was such a big factor for us. If this was valuable information, I hope it was, and you like this kind of content, please subscribe, comment below, let us know if this is something that you want to see more of. And again, if you have any finance related questions, down payment options, whatever it may be, feel free to text us. If you have questions, we're happy to answer, and we'll see you on the next video.